There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. First live show. Welcome to the playoffs. Welcome to the channel. I'm Matty Betts, as you guys know, joined by Big Al Better. Big Al, how we doing tonight?
Pull the mic a little closer. I'm doing good tonight, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Glad to be live. We really wanted to get this out there to you guys. We wanted to, get our touchdown parlays, prop parlays, the teasers. You guys know that we do that every week for Sundays. We just, we didn't want to make a full video on it. Just not really enough content for a full video, just because there's not so many games to be able to choose from and pick from. So we decided to do this instead.
Absolutely. Like we normally do our big Sunday video where we bring our locks of the week, but we've done single videos for all the playoff games because we figured that would give us more of an opportunity to break it down, give you guys our leans and our picks and all that stuff. So, but we still want to do the touchdown parlays, the prop parlays, and then the teasers have been profitable. So we figured, let's just do this one live because it's such a tight, jam-packed weekend of games. So we figured let's just go live Friday night. We'll give out our picks in time for the Saturday games and everything else, and we'll just give that out to the people. So did I run that down pretty good there, Matt?
Oh yeah, for sure. I like that. I love having you
Okay,
on the show. I think we make a really good team. We're a really good dynamic. So
for sure.
yeah, definitely. But you want to jump into it, or how do you want to do this
Yeah,
then?
let's hop right into it. So I think we'll start with touchdown score parlays because you like those, and then we'll hop into prop. We'll do teaser, and then I have a couple single props that I went through and looked for. I got 10 of them that I just think like they're worth throwing maybe half a unit on, just kind of as a fun deal. I like all the ones I came up with too, but they're just like single prop bets for a couple from each game.
Okay, cool. We'll start off with touchdown parlays, just like we normally do on Sundays. We're just right back at it. It's another Sunday video. Uh, I'll start off with mine. I pretty much took all the touchdown scores that I already made for the games themselves. Just I
Okay.
like the odds. Like I had all the odds in front of me, and it's like I already like these guys, so may as well throw them all together, get a little bit plus money, a little bump them up a little bit more. So first off, we're going Nico Collins versus the Chargers, number one receiver there for the Texans. Got to go with Nico Collins there, in my opinion. He's going to be the only real weapon receiving threat besides Dalton Schultz there, so he should be able to get a touchdown there. Then we got Mark Andrews versus the Steelers. Steelers rush is good, but the secondary isn't the best, and Mark Andrews has just proven that he's the number one guy over there, and no Zay Flowers, it has been confirmed. So we're going to take Mark Andrews there. Then we're going Dalton Kincaid versus the Broncos. Broncos secondary is good. They're going to be able to guard the receivers. They're going to be able to guard probably the tight ends too. But I'm just going to trust, Dalton Kincaid there versus the Broncos. Then we're going A.J. Brown versus the Packers. A.J. Brown's just a stud. I don't really care if
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts missed a bunch of weeks. It's fine. Then we're going Mike Evans versus the Commanders. Mike Evans is a dog, another 1,000 yards, 11 in a row. Then we're going last but not least Cooper Kupp versus the Vikings in Arizona. Like that there. Parlay pays out plus 23,000.
Holy flood!
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. That's I want to
That
say
is
I want to
insane.
say that's the biggest one that I've made all year. So you know what they say, save the best for last. That's what we did. Save the biggest for last. That's what we're doing here. We're gonna really hope here for big payday for the first week of the playoffs.
Are all these picks plus money, or were there certain ones in there that really move the needle?
There was a couple that moved the needle a little bit more than others, but every pick is,
Kincaid probably.
yeah, Kincaid and then, uh,
Nico.
yeah, Nico Collins and Kincaid were probably the top two. Same with Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is actually pretty high up there too. I think he's like plus 200, and that's because the first three
Okay.
touchdown scores, like he's like the fourth or fifth. And whenever you can go that far down the
Oh, okay.
list, then you're gonna get
You're
good
gonna get
plus
good
money.
odds.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. I will hop into mine real quick. So I'll just as a aside, if you will, I took almost all the favorites to score touchdown because I'm like, let's just take the guys that we know are going to hit. So it's not going to pay nearly as much as yours does. Mine is much more conservative. So I got Derrick Henry, James Cook, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, and Terry McLaurin. And it pays out plus 31.12 over on DraftKings. If you take every favorite from all of those games, you wouldn't be taking Terry McLaurin and you wouldn't be taking Josh Jacobs. You'd switch those out for, I think it was Bucky Irving in the McLaurin game. So Commanders Bucks, it was Bucky Irving. And then in the Eagles Packers game, it was Saquon Barkley. If you switch those two out and you throw in Saquon and you throw in Bucky Irving, this thing pays out plus 2,000. So the other picks are all the favorites, but I switched out Saquon for Josh and um, Bucky Irving for Terry.
Yeah, makes sense. Get a little bit more of a bump there in the odds.
Yeah, I was looking at. I was like plus 2,000. Like it's not bad, but I like Josh Jacobs' score. He scored in 8 straight games, and Terry McLaurin hasn't been in the playoffs This may be his first playoff game as a Commander because I don't think the Commanders have even made the playoffs for the last like 7 years.
Yeah, it's been a while for the Commanders for sure. Like they were with the
And as
Washington.
far as I know, that's the only team he's been on, right? Scary Terry.
Yeah, I don't believe he started anywhere else. And it's like, they went through the
Right.
whole rebuild, rebranding of the team, the name, all of that. So, yeah, definitely. I don't.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been definitely a while since they've made the playoffs. So we'll see how Terry does here. I like Terry. I have him for that game as well for a touchdown. Just didn't throw him in the prop parlay.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, mine pays out much less than yours pays out, but mine is a much quote unquote safer parlay.
Well,
So
I would hope so. It's 7 times less.
yeah, no, actual though,
Hmm.
it's 20,000 less.
Yeah, I did a little bit differently than you did, and it was more so just, hey, we're gonna try to go for the big payday. And it's not like I took guys that are plus 400 or plus 500. I didn't pick any of my reach plays. It was just take the guys that are plus 150, plus 100, plus 200, just right around that
And
range.
you're taking guys that have been in the end zone all year too.
Exactly. It's like all these guys have been scoring. So we're just gonna, it's the
Right.
playoffs. Like the guys that score, they normally score again in the playoffs because you need guys to step up, and those are normally the stars on the
Yep.
team that are gonna step up. So they're not the star on the team, but they're one of them.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. All right, let's hop into these prop bets, Matt. You want me to go first, or you want to hop into this one first?
Well, you like these more, so I'll let you start off.
Okay, so this first one is like I actually came up with it like when I was doing my research, and I was like, anyway, my first one I got. I'm trying to go game by game, so it should go from the first game to the last. It kind of got mixed up in the touchdowns because I took Saquon out and I took the other guy out, but most of these go in order. So we got Justin Herbert over 20 and a half completions. That's his line. It's actually plus 100. He's done that in 5 straight games. He's done it 8 times on the season. He had 2 early in the season, and then 6 of his last 7 games he's hit this number. So he's really been hot down the stretch with this number, 21 completions. So I love this prop. I think it's going to hit. Next, I got Lamar for the 40 plus. That's the biggest reach in this, like biggest minus money bet on this stretch of bets. I got um, AJ Brown for no Aaron Jones rather for 60 plus rushing yards. That's the Monday game. I got Cortland Sutton 70 plus receiving yards. Josh Jacobs 80 plus rushing yards. He had 84 the first time they played the Eagles back in Brazil. And then Terry McLaurin I've got for 70 plus receiving yards. That's plus 110, I believe. This thing pays out plus 55.60.
55-60 from Big Al over there. That's a good one. It's higher than your touchdown parlay, which I would say is crazy, but you've kind of been doing that all year.
Uh, I mean, like I said, I took every single guy on this. I think except McLaurin was minus money in my touchdown one.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it doesn't pay a lot. Everyone's minus money. I took all the favorites except for Josh, but he's still minus 125 because Saquon's minus 175. And then Terry McLaurin's barely a plus money play. And that, but like he's probably getting in the end zone. So
Yeah.
had to take him,
Would you say the yards for McLaurin were?
70.
70. Okay.
And he's been averaging mid 60s all season long. So it's not like a huge reach by any stretch of the imagination. He just needs to have a good game. And we're going to get to 70.
Yeah, you don't need him to be Superman, but just kind of do what he's
No,
been doing all
no.
year.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
All right, let me hear yours, Matt.
All right, you might like it, you might not. We'll see. It definitely pays more than yours, but we'll see. First off, we're going Cooper Cup 50 plus yards. I think that's the slam dunk right there. Cooper Cup at 50. It's easy. It's gettable.
Yep.
Cooper Cup's dog. Then we got Dalton Schultz over 34 and a half receiving yards. Dalton Schultz is the only other weapon on this team besides Nico Collins for the Texans. I like that a lot. Then we're going 3 quarterbacks in a row here. So, brace yourself. We got
Okay.
Josh.
Buckle in.
Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, and Jordan Love, all 1.5 plus passing touchdowns. And then we're going to wrap it up. Mike Evans, 100 plus receiving yards. You and I love that pick. It's a big plus money pick. It's a juicy pick.
Yep.
And that pays out
Yep.
plus 9,082.
9,082. It's a
Yep.
little 90 times your bet.
Just a 90 times your bet.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. The only reach there is, the Mike Evans 100 plus, and then obviously you have a little bit of fear there with, Russell Wilson and not Josh Allen, but it'd be Jordan Love and Russell Wilson just because they are playing against good defenses. But we've seen Russell Wilson
Sure.
all year. He's consistent. He's in the playoffs. I think it'll be different. It is a different season. You still have to use the facts, sadly, from the whole entire year. And Steelers have been on a losing streak. I think that changes in the playoffs, like we've already talked about. We like the
Mhm.
spread there on the Steelers. So We're
Yep.
just going to trust that Russell Wilson can throw for the 1.5. Same with Josh Allen. He should be able to do that pretty easily. It's Josh freaking Allen. And then also Jordan Love. Jordan Love's been killing it and lighting it up too.
Right. And I mean, Love, I believe he had 3 touchdowns the first time they played the Eagles. Not that that's the same teams now, but that's still something you can look at and be like, okay, he's played the similar, he played that opponent. So they've changed a little bit, but you still get kind of like a rough draft of how things could go. And then Russ, I mean, the Ravens secondary has been their weakness all year long, and it's gotten better down the stretch, but it's still not like a strength of the team. It's still their front is still their strength. Stopping the run is their strength, and they do get beat by the pass. And then obviously Josh Allen's Josh Allen. He's a stud. So, but yeah, Mike Evans 100 plus. We both just think he'll have a big game, even though Marshawn is going to be guarding him for the whole game. But Lattimore hasn't played in a while. He's coming off an injury, so Evans could still beat him up.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely agree with you there. We talked about it in the video that we did on the Bucks. It's just Mike
Right.
Evans is just that guy. He's that type of player. He had a bad week last week, but or not
Mm-hmm.
really a bad week, but it was just low yardage for him compared to normal. But I mean, who else is Baker gonna really trust? Like he's gonna trust everybody. Obviously, he has to, but Mike Evans should be the biggest recipient there for the
I
football.
mean, Mike Evans, he had 89 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he needed 89, or he needed
I
like
took him for
87.
90. I took him for 90, and he got to 89. And he had 90. Apparently, he didn't lunge far enough on that final. But so I lost a prop bet because of that, which sucked. But no, I mean, he got 89 in a game that they needed it, but they didn't. Like he didn't. Mike Evans didn't even need to have a big game in that game, and so this game we expect it to be high scoring. The book expects it to be high scoring. So yeah, Mike Evans going off for 100 yards does not seem super out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But all right, teasers. Or
Yeah.
you want to jump into your props first?
No, I mean, you tell me. What do you want to do?
Go to your props.
Go
Let's
to the
listen
single
to your
props.
props
Okay, I
for a
got
little bit.
I've
Yeah.
got 10 of them. So my idea, like you could just throw one unit, split it 10 ways, a tenth of a unit, bing, 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 however you want to do it. But I got 10 of them. So I got what, two from each game. Well, I guess something. So I'll just start at the
Yeah.
top. So I got race to 40 rushing yards. I kind of went deeper into the book. So these are going to be some off the wall. You're going to have to dig a little bit to find these. And I don't know if these are available in every book. I got them off DraftKings. But if they're available on your book, check them out. Maybe you'll get better numbers. So I got race to 40 rushing yards in the Ravens game. I got Lamar Jackson to beat Derrick Henry, basically, because those are the two like favorites to 40 rushing yards. It's plus 380. I think it was the last time the Steelers played the Ravens. They were kind of bottlenecking Derrick Henry a little bit early, and Lamar had like a 38-yard rush early, and then he had another 15-yard rush. It was something like that. So we know Lamar can pick it up. One big rush, he gets to 40 before Derrick. It's plus 380. It's like, throw $10 on that. If it hits, you get $40. That's not a bad deal. Next, I got Justice Hill, 25 plus rushing yards. He's done it 3 times this year. He did it last time they played the Steelers. That's plus 425.
His
Not a bad deal.
25
Then
rushing yards.
just 25 rushing yards for Justice Hill. He missed the last 2 weeks because he got hurt in that Steeler game. This will be his first game back. He just needs to get 25 rushing yards. He breaks a big one out the rip, and then he's down the sideline, and he gets it, plus 425. I was like, yeah, give me that. I'll take that all day. Next, I got the Herbert prop from my prop parlay, 20.5 completions. It's just his line. It's plus 100. Not quite as crazy as the other two. Then I got the Broncos race to 10 points. Okay. Not saying that they're going to win the game. I'm not saying that the Bills are going to suck at this game. What I'm thinking is the Broncos, they win the coin toss. They say, give us the ball. We want to score first. They go down, score a touchdown, have to settle for a field goal, or they score on their second drive. They get to 10 before the Bills. That pays out plus 220. So I kind of like that. Then I got the Bills on a race to 30 points because they scored 30 in I think 10 of their games this season. So they like 30. They get to 30 a lot. This thing pays out plus 110. So the book doesn't necessarily think they won't get there, but it's straight money. So I was like, yeah, give me that. Next, I got the Packers money line for the first quarter. They're not expected to win the game. They're 5.5 point underdogs now. But to win the first quarter, they're plus 105. The Jalen Hurts and the Eagles started slow all season long. They were like the worst team in scoring in the first quarter. So I think the Packers are going to want to get on him early and get the ball early and try to score. So I like them to win the first quarter. Then I got Packers over 3.5 first quarter points. That's plus 124. I think if we get the ball in the first quarter, we're going to go down and score a touchdown. We're going to need to score a touchdown. We're going to have to get off to a pretty big lead to have a chance in that game. So I like them to score a touchdown in the first quarter or at least get 2 field goals. So I like the over there. Then we move on to the Sunday night game. We got Baker. First time he played the Commanders, week 1, he threw 4 touchdowns. We're going to take him for 4 touchdowns again. It's a big reach,
Lord.
but it's plus 650. So I was like, I'll take a flyer on a plus 650 for him to throw 4 again, especially if we think the game's going to be high scoring like it was last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Tampa Bay over 29.5 total points in that game. That's plus 142. They just need to get to 30. They had, 37 or 40 the first time they played these guys. So I like Tampa Bay to get to 30. They've been hot all season long. Baker threw for 45 touchdowns this year. They know how to score points. So I love that. And then my final prop is for the Monday night game, rather, which is in Phoenix. No team to score 3 times unanswered. That's plus 115 over under. And those are all 10 of them.
Okay. How much did you say that one was?
The final one's just plus 115. And it's no
Okay.
team to score 3 times unanswered. So.
Okay. Not bad. You got there's definitely some weird
I got a bunch of
right there.
bunch of random ones in there. Yeah, like I said, I dug. Like, I think the race to 40 rushing yards with Lamar is actually a pretty good one if the Steelers decide, hey, we're going to let Lamar run, but we're not letting Derrick Henry beat us, because Derrick Henry had a big game last time they played. So if they try to commit to stopping Derrick, you could see Lamar pick up a bunch and beat. I'm not saying he's going to end the game with more rushing yards, but early he could get the 40 off a couple scrambles, and then next thing you know, we're cashing a plus 380, and I like that.
Yeah, it also makes sense too if, like, without Zay Flowers, maybe the Steelers are like, hey, we're gonna pressure Lamar the whole entire game, and he's gonna have to throw to these backup receivers, and to his tight ends to beat us. And
Right.
yeah, he could, because he's got 2 really good tight ends, and likely in Andrews, but I don't really see
Right.
that.
And like I said, there's only 2 or 3 games this whole season where Lamar hasn't gotten to 40. So in a race to 40, if he's going to get to 40, why not make it a race to 40? And maybe the Steelers are just like, we're stopping Derrick, and Lamar's like, okay, fine. If you're going to stop him, I'm going to run.
Yeah, could be for sure. I like those. They're not bad. I
So,
didn't bring any of those to the table this week, but
I will say
I'll
too,
look into it next week, I guess.
You can take a race to 20 rushing yards, and Lamar's plus 320 for that one.
Really?
So if you didn't like the 40, yeah, you can get the 20. So if Lamar just has one big run, he can get to that, and that's also plus 320. It's not quite as big, but it's still, triple your money.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good single bet right there.
So I might splash both of those, to be completely honest. But I was like, the 40 pays more, so I'll use that one. But 20, you could easily see that one happening. They stopped
yeah.
Derrick. Lamar picks up a 22-yard rush, and ka-ching, he cashed it.
Yep. You could get that pretty early in the game, for sure.
Right.
Obviously, 20 rushing yards would be early by either of them. So either you would win or lose. You don't have to wait the whole entire game to find out.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All
right, let's hop into these teasers, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, I'll start with
you
mine.
go first or I?
Oh, I'll start with mine first. I like mine a lot. You're going to like it too. Last week we did hit. So last week of the season we were able to cash in again.
Yes.
So feels good. We're going to try to get back on that train and take a couple, pretty much most of the picks that we already took for these games, like how we projected these games to go. It's just you already like the bet by itself, so why wouldn't you like the bet again with an extra 6 points? Just it's pretty brain dead. I mean, at that point, once we've already broken down the game and already talked about it, then I'm getting 6 points on a pick that I already liked. I'll definitely be taking that. So first off, we're going over in the Chargers and the Texans game. It's over 35.5. We're teasing it down to 35. So just need 36 points in that game. I think it will be a shootout. It's in Texas, so I like that matchup a lot. The Chargers, they might not score a ton, but Texans definitely can. They have the ability to, and even if it is a low-scoring game, it's still going to be fine. They're both still going to score a lot of points. So over 35.5 in the Chargers and the Texans game. Then we got over 43.5 in the Steelers at Ravens. 43.5 is a lot of points, but I expect Russell Wilson to play really well in this game. So I like that a lot right there. Then we're going Bills -3 versus the Broncos. They're at home against the Broncos. I don't see the Bills losing this game in any sense of the word. The -9 was a little daunting at first, but you got to change that to a -3. Love it. Then we're going Packers plus 11.5 against the Eagles. At Eagles, I love this matchup. I love the Packers here at plus 11. I think it's going to be a close game. Jordan Love and the boys keep it close. Then we're going Bucks +3 against the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
We like the Bucks to win that game outright just because rookie and Jaden Daniels. So we'll get the +3. That should just cash easily. Then we got the over 42 points in the Vikings Rams game in Arizona. It's going to be a nice day. It's going to be 65 degrees. We'll take that. We'll take that easily. I like Stafford to have a big game. Like the Vikings to kind of not really do much. I think the
Okay, so
yeah.
let me ask you a question here. So you're like on my book, the Steelers Ravens game over is already at 43 and a half.
Oh, okay. So that's my bad then.
So 37 and a half
Yeah, so
would
it'd
be
be
the number.
37 and a half.
You're teasing the over though, to be clear.
Yes.
Okay, so 37 and a half, and then Rams, your Rams over under is 48 over there?
42, 42 is teased.
Right, because your regular
From
line
the
is
48.
48.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That was it. Other than that, you got them all. You got them all right.
Thanks.
I just wanted to double check because I was like 43 and a half. I was like, I didn't know this game was a 49.5 line. I was like, what kind of lines Matt getting over there?
Yeah, no, normally when I'm doing the teasers, right, I'll look and I'll know the
Right.
bet before. So when I write it down, I have, the 47 already in my brain. So then it's just like, oh, -6 from that, 41, whatever it may be.
Sure.
And they do it really weird over on BetMGM where you have the totals and it shows it right there and it shows what you're betting on. Back when I was using FanDuel and the couple times I've used FanDuel for the teasers,
Mm-hmm.
it's different because they have
It
the
auto adjusted it.
yeah, it auto adjusts to it. The on BetMGM it
Mm-hmm.
has the 36 or whatever, and then it has the +6 or whatever for the teaser, and then it
Sure.
has the new line. So just a little
Right.
confusing on
Right.
my bad, but we can fix that in
Okay.
the short when we do it.
For sure. For sure. Do you want to just like shout this thing out again so when I make the short, I don't have to sit there and edit it?
Yeah, for sure. So
Okay.
starting off, we got over 35.5 Chargers to Texans. Like 35.5 there, pretty easy I think to get over. Then we're going over 37.5 in the Steelers at Ravens game. People think it's going to be low scoring. Ravens are going to blow out the Steelers. I like the Steelers here. Russell Wilson. And then we're going Bills -3 versus the Broncos. Josh Allen should just continue his reign of dominance. I'm not worried there about them winning that game. Then we got Packers +11 at the Eagles. Should be a good matchup. I'm really excited to watch this game. I know you are too. You're already repping the Packers
Mm-hmm.
hoodie right now. So we like the +11.5 there. Then Bucks +3. No shot, no chance in our opinions that the Bucks lose this game. So we get +3 points there.
Correct.
Walk that one to the bank. And then we got over 42 in the Vikings-Rams game in Arizona. Only because it's a neutral field and because it's going to be super nice weather. I like it a lot. Both teams have a good game.
Okay. All right, and that's your 6-team 6-point teaser.
6-pick, 6-point teaser. If you play on a good book, you're getting +600. If you're playing on FanDuel, you're only getting +500. So shout out
Yeah,
FanDuel.
figure that out.
Shout
Figure that out,
shout out
FanDuel.
FanDuel. They
Oh,
lure you
man.
in with
Yeah,
how
that's
good of
crazy.
odds they give you on touchdown scores. I'll tell you that.
It's hard enough to hit 6 legs, dude. Then when you do hit 6 legs, they're like, we're actually not going to pay you.
We're
quite
going
as
to take our
much as every other
10%
book,
tip
though.
here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right. Literally.
Or
All right, I'll
20%.
hop into mine. I've got 2 for you. I was telling you, Matt, before we went live. I've got 2 simply because on DraftKings you can take picks from the same games, and then on most other books you can't. So I've got 1 for if you don't play on DraftKings, and I got 1 if you do have DraftKings. So my first one here is for everybody. This is Chargers +3. Teased from a -3 to a +3. I got the Steelers teased from +8.5 up to +14.5. I don't think they'll lose by 2 touchdowns. I got the Broncos teased from +8.5 up to +14.5. I got the Packers teased from +5.5 to +11.5 on DraftKings. And then I got the Bucks teased from a -3 to a +3. And I've got the Rams teased from a +2.5 to a +8.5.
I like that a lot. I like the Rams pick there.
You
I
didn't take
thought
any
about doing
over-unders.
it.
I just took all the spreads. I took 2 favorites and 3 underdogs, or 4 underdogs, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
1, 2,
you've
3,
been
4,
telling
4
me.
underdogs
You've been telling me
and
all
3
year.
favorites.
I mean, I get that it's playoffs, and playoffs are usually
It's playoffs. That's why it's
they're
different.
usually
That's why it's
closer
different.
games. So yeah, when you get a big spread like
Yes.
that, you can kind of play with it a little bit, especially when you're going to get an extra
Right.
6 on it. So I do like
Yes.
that, and I think the book knows too. And most people are going to be taking Bills -3, which Bills -3 is fine. They just have to win by 3. That could be a close game.
Right.
Bills win by 7. You cash on both. The actual spread doesn't hit at -9 for the Bills. So the teased only hits, but you can hit on both legs teased.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hmm.
Well, and like, I mean, I'm also going based off what I took for these games. Like you and I both were on the Steelers plus the 8.5, so it only made sense for me to tease the side I already liked versus taking the opposite side and getting minus 2.5 on the Ravens. And then if the Steelers come in and win this game somehow, then you're just screwed. Like
Yeah.
I would rather die on the hill that I already kind of built for myself.
I do have a question for you. I want to pick your brain a little bit about that Steelers Ravens, just a little bit more. I know we've already
Okay.
talked about it, but uh,
We have a whole video on it, guys. It's on the channel. You
yep.
can go look at.
uh, do you think if the Steelers win that game, give me the scenario
Yes.
of how that game goes and points scored, all that. Like, how do the Steelers win that game? Do you think it's a Russell Wilson led like 30-27 win in a close one, or do you think it's a they shut down the Ravens and it was 21-17?
Here's what I think can happen. So the Steelers, I mean, they looked good in that second game. Like we all remember watching that second game, and Russell Wilson had that run for 30 yards up to the goal line, and he decides instead of just sliding, he tries to shoulder check
Yeah,
Kyle Hamilton. I think that's who it was. He fumbles on the two. They get the ball, kills the drive, and after that, it was all Ravens. But before that happens, that game was really close. And if they would have scored there, the Steelers would have had a 7-point lead. So I don't think like that game, the end score tells a story, but if you'd actually watched it, that game was the Steelers to lose earlier on. And so I don't know. I think this game could be high scoring and the Steelers win it because the Ravens are going to play tight. And I don't know. When I watched that Ravens Browns game last week too, as soon as Zay Flowers got hurt, that game was much different until kind of closer to the end. Then the Ravens were able to pile on and make it look not as close as it was. But I was worried about the Ravens being able to cover the spread because I had them minus the 20 or the 19, whatever it had gotten to, and you had the plus on the Browns. And then in the end, they were able to pile on enough to win that. But for a while there, it was like as soon as they got hurt, they couldn't move the ball.
yeah,
Like Lamar was running and he was doing his thing, but it was like punt, punt, field goal, punt, punt, punt. Like they weren't scoring. And I was
yeah.
like, dang, so Zay adds that much to their offense. And like the Browns defense is good, but I think the Steelers have a better defense personally, and they're hard to run on. They're the sixth best team in the league against the run. They're right outside the top five. And so if they decide just we're gonna bottle up Derrick Henry and make Bateman beat us, like
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's gonna be a long day for the
And
Ravens.
they have
So
linebackers there that can deal with Mark Andrews. Maybe not linebackers that can deal with Likely, because Likely is one of the fast tight ends in the league. So they
right.
have Mark Andrews, who's the big bruiser tight end, kind of like a Travis Kelsey, and then they also have the tight
Mm-hmm.
end, kind of like a Tucker Kraft, like we were talking about, where he's got the speed of a receiver, but he's as big as a tight end. So you think that he's going to run this, 10-yard out route,
Mm-hmm.
and he just instead fakes you and just goes deep. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. I feel like the Steelers, like, it's not like their secondary is terrible. They're in the playoffs for a reason.
No.
So as long as
And
those guys show up, I don't see the Ravens winning this game unless you have Derrick Henry, who can just is the game breaker and the cheat code, and he can actually just run it all over the Steelers. Which we've
well,
seen
and if you
Derrick
think
Henry in
about the
playoffs
last
too. Go ahead.
right, but if you think about the last couple games, I think the reason the book made this 8.5, maybe we're wrong, and the book's baiting everybody into betting on the Steelers, which I don't think many people are even doing. A lot of people are taking the Ravens, but maybe they're banking on what I think they're taking into account is the Steelers have lost four straight and haven't looked very good. The Ravens have won, I believe, all of their last four games and have looked very good. And so when you take that, it's like the spread should be big. But I would argue that the Steelers have looked worse than they normally do. It's not like this is who they really are. I think this is just like an aberration. And Pickens missed two of the games they lost, and then he came back for the last two, and they played tough opponents. And the Bengals, it was always going to be hard, but they kind of got it together at the end. They almost beat the Bengals near the end of that game. They kind of came back on a run. Like, and I don't expect Pickens to stay playing that bad, which is what we talked about. And so if Pickens and Russ pick up where they were prior to Pickens getting hurt, I think they could pick up a lead early on the Ravens, and then Lamar and company are playing from behind the whole game. You can't even run Derrick.
Yeah, and it's gonna be kind of like the game last year against the Chiefs in the champs game, where they should have been running the ball, but they decided, hey, we need to get a lead because Mahomes is gonna score a touchdown at the end of the game to beat us. So they were
Mm-hmm.
just trying to force the throw to try to get that advantage and get the offense clicking, and it just never worked.
And this is Arthur Smith, the OC. He's been great pretty much all year. He gets a third crack at this defense. I don't know. I think him and Russ might dial up some crazy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, second teaser for you.
Second teaser. Okay, so this is the one if you play DraftKings because we haven't confirmed whether or not there's other books where you can bet the same game. But this is the other one that I'll be betting. I got the Chargers +3. I kept that. I got the Steelers +14.5. Kept that. Got the Packers +11.5. I kept that. But I teased the Packers over from 45.5 down to 35.5. I kept the Bucks +3, and then my last pick was the Bucks over 44.5. To me, that Bucks over 50, it's 50.5, right? To me, that's probably the bet of the week as far as all the over-unders, all the spreads. I think I like that one the most just because both these teams can score at will. And so that I know it's the highest number of the week, but that to me, I think is my lock of the week if I had to give one out for this week. So teasing that down just feels like a no-brainer. So that's my other one.
Okay.
Bucks over 44.5, Bucks +3, Pack over 39.5, and then Pack +11.5, Steelers 14.5, Chargers +3.
Nice, I like that. I wish I could bet it.
Pretty confident in that.
I'm still banned from DraftKings, so
Well,
shows how good we are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have to stop you at some point. Thankfully, every other book is generous and is like, hey, you can take our money. So.
Right, absolutely.
We'll definitely be taking.
All right, Matt. Is there anything else you want to dive into here?
I don't think so. I think that's all we really wanted to do. Just come on here for a little bit. We'll make the shorts for you guys too if you guys don't catch the stream. But yeah, it's kind of boring. Nobody was really here, but that's okay. We're still small. It's still our first year. It's still our first year. Like we can't complain too much. We'll see. Maybe we'll get 100 views on the freaking live stream afterwards. People will be like, "Wait, what do you mean nobody's here?" Like, but yeah, as of right now,
we got 79 subs, dude.
We got 79. We're trying to get to 100 before the end of the season. Then we'll have, NBA, and we should have NHL. We'll see how that goes. But those are the plans for us for the next, 3-4 months after the playoffs are done. After the playoffs are done, yeah, the playoffs for NBA and for the NHL. But
NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. We'll have content for that for sure.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, that's all we got for you guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in to nobody. But hopefully you guys, watch the stream. And I literally was just like, oh, we're not doing a video. Like, this isn't actually like a video format. This is a live stream. It's, kind of depressing. But it's okay. Oh, hey, we can't do worse than this, right?
Can't build Rome in a day, Matt.
Yeah, that's fair. And we can't get negative viewers on a live stream. So we're fine there. And that's it. Yeah, we'll wrap up and we'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be for you guys, whichever one you guys watch next. But for us, it'll be Sunday night and then Monday night.
Yep, for sure. And anyway, as we always say, Matt, what do we say?
We always say beat the book.
And protect the bag. But we flipped it. We say protect the bag.
Yeah, we started off, it was beat the book, and then you're like, protect the bag. We literally started off, I said remember as always, beat the book, and you said protect the bag. And I was like, hey, that's pretty good. And then we switched it. But, I mean, the original is beat the book, protect the bag. Better. Yeah, and look good doing it.
That's not the original. And look real good doing it.
Look real good.
Yeah.